by now you know where I am.
You're in the
Now,
garage.
MOT day's looming, and I've got a list of little jobs to do to try and get everything up together and sorted in time to do that. So I'd ordered a proper fuel filter, Momentec one. Someone tell me if I was about to say that wrong, I'm sure. And with a proper clip and everything else to be able to hold it, hasn't arrived. It's been back ordered or it's taking forever to come anyway. It's been weeks, months in fact. So I've got one of these cheap universal jobbers. I hope it's got enough in it to withstand the pressure of being the fuel pump, but we'll see, I hope. I've bought some connectors to be able to connect it up to the fuel rail, and I'm going to hook up the fuel lines first, try and hook up the clutch cable. I need to find some bolts for the battery clamps. And then I want to try and add the ignition live if I get time this evening. If not, undoubtedly we'll cut to when I do, to try and get the ECU running so I can work out which wire I need to connect for the fuel pump. Once those are connected, theoretically it could start and run. We'll find out. We'll find out the cranks first, of course. Right, it's not the prettiest, but we're set up in a test mode so I can see what's going on. Clutch selector fork next, and they did a fantastic job in powder coating this. However, as you can see, it's filled in some of the ridges here, so I need to just clean those out with a diamond file. Sort of like that. It's a little bit in there, but certainly looking a lot better than it was. Well, I've taxed it. Right, here we go then. I've got to the point where I need to hook up the ECU in order to work out what the output is for the fuel pump. Once that's done, on paper, the car should be able to start. So, first things first, let's hook up the power so we can see what's going on. I'm going to run the cable across to what I believe to be a suitable ignition live. It looks like the ignition live that doesn't go dead on cranking is the one that goes to the switch. So I'm going to go with that. Rightly or wrongly, and I'm sure you'll tell me one way or the other whether that is right. From there, the buzz bar should be live in the box when the ignition is live. And from there, you've got two fuses which then run to the ECU and one to the coils. So, assuming I've done this right in a moment, I should be able to power the car back up, and I should be able to see the ECU. I also should be able to get a crank, which should be interesting. So we'll see if we can get the car to crank over potentially as well. But you may notice I haven't come down in all my normal scruffs. I'm a bit of a scruff myself, I'm a bit of a mess. But nevertheless, I don't plan on getting dirty today, which would be a change. It'd be the first one in a very long time. And it'd be nice not to have to go in and scrub my hands. But here we go. So I didn't realise, of course, I could use a bodge block just to test this. This is a cable already attached to the ignition feed. It's a bit Heath Robinson and that everything's in the footwell. But it's not on fire. I assume that everything else is working. Yeah, so ignition is on. Let's grab the laptop and find out. Seems to work, but it was working at least. There's power to the machine, so that's good news. It's currently updating itself, which is also good news, I guess. Clearing faults done. Firmware updated. Cool, happy days. Right, so what have we got? We can see a bit of everything here. Temperature of the CPU. In fact, the engine's not running. We know that. That's cool. No pressure, because obviously nothing's connected to that. Battery voltage, well, that looks healthy. It's currently getting a little bit of a charge from the trickle charge, is probably what it's flicking about. Coolant temperature, 14 degrees, well, it's probably about that outside. Where's the air temperature? I was in that a moment ago. Fueling, long term, yeah. So nevertheless, we can see bits along here. Coolant temperature, everything else there. So yeah, it is working. We've got power. That's the key point. Next question is, if I try and crank, bearing in mind there's nothing connected to this at the moment, so it shouldn't really make any difference to this. Yep, cool. So it doesn't cut out, so that's good news. We can probably assume that that's okay then. I've got a lot of wires everywhere, as you can probably see. And I've rigged everything up, so I've got power to the ECU, which is golden. That's good. It can see crank, it can see various different temperatures. That's great. All I need to really do now is figure out how to attach the fuel pump. So I've got the wire coming from the fuel pump ready, but I can see these here at the top. GPO out 1, fuel pump relay, GPO 8 tacho. So that's done. GPO 8 out, which is A4 green. That's good, that's done. But the others, B4, C4, D4 green. So I'm looking for B4 green. I don't have any more green cables. Any thoughts? I've got that. I've got these two obviously coming out. I don't know which they are, but that's part of the loom. And out of this loom, oops, every other colour but green. You have to excuse the mess, sorry, it's just a bit everywhere at the moment, but just trying to get it to go. So, are you able to please offer me some guidance? Yeah, so everything apart from green. I can only see 3 green outputs. I can't help but wonder if one of these pins, one of these 2 green pins here, is probably the output I need. Because there's nothing in the connector that goes into. Just those 2 powers. So, what are those doing, I wonder? I'm guessing this is if you've got the fuse box set up. So, I wonder if I can test that somehow. From the back, I guess. Maybe I'll try that. Okay, next day, and Ignition Advantages came back and said, yes, you can, if you're using the fuse box, which acts as that loom, all GPO, so general purpose outputs, you can use for all things. And, well, yeah, it's not exactly answered the question, but I'm guessing that I'm probably right. So I've decided I'm going to pop this plug apart in the loom and see if I can pop them into a chop block and get some power out to the fuel pump, see if it primes. This is the connector. You see I've popped this little gate out. You can pop a small screwdriver in there, just gently push it, and it pops open. Hopefully that'll release the pins. It sort of has, but you can see they're connected inside here. So what I'm going to do is just release these 2 green pins, and I've used my de-pinning tool just to pop one out, and as you can see I've slid a little gate thing back in just so it holds that connector together. So let's hook everything back up and see if I can get some power out of that thing. So the original wire, I say original from when we had the vehicle wired up, was missing from the yellow fuel pump relay, and with that connected, all okay.